The monthly show is back. Right guys, so if you didn't know already, we are doing a crypto giveaway next week live here on the channel. So make sure you turn the notification bell on so you are in the loop. This is the biggest giveaway that we have ever done in the history of Falcon. 5 years young, we are going from strength to strength, and we thought this would be a great opportunity to give back from all the love and support that you guys and girls have shown us over the past 5 years. Those that attend the live will have a higher priority of winning the crypto giveaway, so make sure that you do attend live so you have all of the details, you're in the loop. So do yourself a favor, turn on the notification bell, and I will see you in the live next week here on the channel. Welcome back guys to the Falcon FX monthly show. Yes, we are back. We listened to the feedback and we're really excited to get into this as we are going to freshen some things up, and we have so much in store, not just for the show, but for the channel. So I'm very, very excited moving forward to announce that the monthly show is here to stay. So in this monthly show, we're going to be covering lots of different things. I'm actually bringing something different in this show, this episode. So we'll be going over a technical tip, something that traders need to hear, need to understand to stop themselves indulging in the market, constantly giving profit back to the market when they need to actually take a step back and protect their capital. So I'm going to get into that visually on the charts. We're also going to be going over mindset tips and everything like that. So really looking forward to it. So the whole aim for this show is to bring a bit of a different dynamic. So make sure you leave some feedback, anything that you really liked about the show previously, and anything new that you'd like to see. So we're keen to hear about that. But without further ado, let's dive into the show, starting off with the mindset tip. So as you guys know, recently we passed our 5th year anniversary on Falcon. What an incredible 5 years it has been, onwards and upwards. I can only imagine where we're going to be on the next 5-year milestone. That got me reflecting, it got me pondering on the thought of a lot of things. So this mindset tip is really about what I've learned over the last 10 years and 5 years of this project. And it's really about what you're willing to sacrifice and aggressive patience. I've spoken about aggressive patience before on this channel, but I want to link this together. Most of you traders, you're coming to the channel because you want to better yourself. You want to achieve your wildest goals. Maybe you want to quit your job. You want to be able to have the time and energy and freedom to have the choice to work on your passions and your side projects. Well, guess what? It really comes down to what you're willing to sacrifice. And I'll give you an example. Over the last 5 years of this project, I've sacrificed a lot of things, to the point that I was in a position where I can go wherever I want, whenever I want. And I would not go to certain places, for example, that don't have the right level of Wi-Fi speed, for example, because then I knew that would sacrifice the content, and then I wouldn't be able to perform, or I wouldn't be able to get the right connection for the speed. And for those in the team will know that over those 5 years, that's just one tiny example, and I'll explain why. When you have a standard of what you're willing to deliver in terms of content, etc., and you care about other people, then you will put those things first and prioritize that over, let's say, me enjoying myself for a couple of weeks in the Bahamas. And it's small little details that makes you realize when you love something, when you're passionate about something and you give it your all, that's a tiny little sacrifice there. However, it's for the greater good. And I want you to think about, what are you willing to sacrifice right now? So let's say you've got these goals that you want to achieve big figures, yet you're still not willing to sacrifice that Friday night, the way your friends go out every single week and you catch up. You're still not willing to sacrifice going out on a Saturday. You're still not willing to sacrifice that leisure for the greater good of the goals that you want to achieve. And anyone that's ever achieved anything big, they've sacrificed time and lots of things that you would enjoy. And it's the highest form of self-love, because it's the discipline to be able to sacrifice now for at a later stage to have the rewards. And I've sacrificed so many things over the years to be able to put myself in a position for this. And I think it's the biggest tip that most traders are missing, because you're sold on this idea every single day that it should have happened by now. So you tend to want to do both at the same time, because your mind tells you, well, I can still enjoy myself, I can still drink champagne, I can still go out on the weekends while I'm becoming a successful trader. Of course you can, to an extent, but at what cost? And there's this universal law that when you try and do everything at once and you kind of want to have everything at the same time, you're not willing to sacrifice, the universe has a funny way of blocking those goals, where when you go full commitment, full force, and you remove distractions, you sacrifice what you need to sacrifice, you give up the things that you need to give up, giving up toxic friends. It's not just about going out, it's lots of different things. You sacrifice that, you get rid of that, and then you move forward. The universe has a funny way of rewarding you for doing that. And if more people would realize that, they would move forward. The other side of the coin is the aggressive patience. Now, the aggressive patience is important because over the last 5 years, what has it been? Simple. Got a journal here, right? You know I'm a big advocate of that. Shout out to the man Lewis, actually, one of the students at Falcon. He actually gifted me with this, which is amazing. So I'm really looking forward to filling this one out after my other one is finished. So just, again, having the right people around you, having the right people in the community, like these things are super important. So I really do appreciate that. And it's things like this that makes me want to push even more, because in that journal, what that represents is the daily goals, day after day for years to manifest at this point. And it's about being patient on that bigger picture. So 5 years ago, I set out a goal to achieve for Falcon, lots of elements to that, and it was written in these journals. That's all it was, day by day. There wasn't this, how can I have a fund within a week? It was, right, I need to keep moving forward every step of the way, infrastructure, strategy, mindset, technical, everything that links together, support, webinars, meetups, all of these things, structure for their finances, you name it, goal setting, the list goes on and on and on over the years. And that was day by day planning. So what I used to do is I would set out these goals, and if I looked at it in isolation, it wouldn't necessarily be anything wow. It wouldn't be a big wow factor that, right, if you do that today, this is going to amount to all of this success. But I had faith and trust that I knew that everything I was doing every day would amount to this bigger picture. And it's such an incredible feeling for that to play out, because 5 years later, we're now here and we've accomplished everything. Literally everything that was written out has now been achieved, and more, for the better of the community. So that's what aggressive patience is. It's about aggressively moving after your goals every single day, but being patient on the bigger picture. So that's what I've learned over the last 5 years. And I want to kind of tie that tip into what you're willing to sacrifice, because along the way I've sacrificed a lot of things to make sure that that daily aggressive patience actually plays out, and it has. So I'm really pleased for that, and I hope this energy transfers to you to start thinking about, firstly, what are you willing to give up and what are you willing to sacrifice for the greater good of your goals, and are you being patient on the bigger picture but aggressively going after it each day, ticking it off and sticking to your word. Right guys, so now on to the technical tip. So I'm going to be doing something a little bit different to what we used to do in the show with the top 3 pairs and trade of the month. Something that I think is very relevant to the current market conditions right now, and it's the exact minefield in which the traders that don't know what they're doing jump into. It's when they overtrade, and there's a really important lesson that I want to share. It's kind of evergreen for you, no matter what system you trade, areas of importance that you need to be aware of. So I'm excited to get into it, so let's dive in. So as you can see here on my screen, I've got 4 pairs. I've got pound Swiss, euro Kiwi, Swiss yen, and gold. So where most traders are messing up essentially is that they fail to identify value areas in which that they can step into the markets. Remember, and these are simple things. The tip right now is this: success in trading is not about doing extraordinary things. It's about doing ordinary things in an extraordinary manner. So what do I mean by that? A double top is still a double top. A double bottom is still a double bottom. These things haven't changed, but yet traders are complexifying these things that are very, very simple. So look at pound Swiss. What do we have here? On the daily chart, we have a double top area. We've identified our area of value that we would like to be selling around this area. This is where we would step into the market, and just trading it from a simple structure to the bottom of the range, we have a clear first target and second target. Yet people will get involved in these areas. Why? Because FOMO creeps in. Their mind tells them, well, I need to be involved now. What if it goes early? And this is where people just get caught into this cycle of they just want to be in the markets. They feel like trading in the markets and just being in positions makes them feel more like a trader, or they feel like the more trades they will take will either get them closer to their goals, right? But it doesn't work like that. So they just kind of get involved in these messy areas of lower quality positions. So what I want to express is, and we can see this now in Euro Kiwi as an example, is just be patient. Like, don't be surprised by waiting a little bit longer and having the thought process to protect your capital versus always indulging in the market when you don't actually need to. So look at Euro Kiwi, for example. we were waiting for Euro Kiwi to fill this move. So we was, Falcon guys will know, we were looking from here for this 1, 2, 3 to fill, get people caught on the wrong side of this structure, reject, come back in, and then we're looking for this wave, right? So we would need confirmation of that. We now have confirmation of that, and we're actually looking for an entry. So what I'm saying is that most traders are trying to catch it here, and they've got these random levels, etc., that they're trying to get involved with, not realizing that the market for the last 35, 40 years has always responded to these structures. Like, nothing has changed. Can literally backtest it all the way through. So the market is always doing this, and it repeats itself. So why wouldn't you wait? You know, what is the benefit of waiting a little bit longer for the market to get people caught on the wrong side, play out, look for the trade we're looking for, and then just rinse and repeat? And that is literally as simple as it is. So when we're looking for pound Swiss, you can see why we would be patient to fill this move. And if we don't get that move and it kind of goes from here, then it goes from there. Like, not always price is going to fill the areas that you desire. And you have to know when to walk away from a trade and not always think that your forecast or what you're planning on has to play out. It doesn't. You know, you move on to the next trade. Don't take it personally. So for us, pound Swiss, we're looking at this area. If we don't get it, then we leave it alone. There's plenty of other opportunities. But don't compromise your risk model. Don't compromise your principles and philosophy of the market. The same way we waited for this, it was like, perfect, right, we tapped that area. There was an entry up here anyway. However, we're now looking for entries around these areas that are in line with our strategy to be able to take this short. If we get it, great. If not, then we won't. So it's really that simple. Swiss yen is more of a forecast for you guys, forward thinking. So if you just take that same principle, right, you might be someone that's kind of looking from Falcon on the outside in, you might be following our content for a period of time. With those simple principles, what would we then do with Swiss yen? We've identified this is a value area. You can see we rejected quite a few times there with a particular structure that we have there. We sold off. We've then gravitated price towards this area, right? So if you look at the structure, let's say you knew nothing about any patterns and you didn't know how they respond and how to take them, what would be the area you would look for? Well, it wouldn't be trying to trade here because you've randomly on the lower time frames have a tiny rejection. Yes, in some short circumstances, it might play out in your favor. But in the long run, you're just getting trapped all the time. When the reality is, this is the value area. You wait. If we get there and then we see the criteria met, you know, combining that you have a strategy for this and you have a system, we will then look to take this to the downside and our target will be there. That's it. So you might be asking, well, if it's that simple, why doesn't everybody do it? The reason why everybody doesn't do it is because they cannot help themselves but indulge in getting into the market and just taking trades because they think that it's going to get them closer to their goals, where sometimes a position in the market is not taking a position at all. So when we look at this structure, we know exactly what we need to do. We're patient, we wait. If it fills this area and then we see a particular structure, rejection pattern that we're looking for, we will identify that according to our plan, and then we will trade this structure as our first target down to this area, and then we'll look for further. And this is just how the market has been responding. So I can show you hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of examples of these type of structures that play out. Now, the harder part is the intricacies on the lower time frame, which is why you need a plan. You need a plan to how you're going to manage the trade. You need an execution plan. You need a higher time frame. You need to know how to filter between this pair and another pair if it happens to manifest in the same moment. So there's lots of variables that kind of go into that. So it might look simple, but there are a lot of things that you have to factor in. So again, like I said, success is not about doing the complicated things. It's about knowing how to do the simple things like waiting. For example, gold. So this was the last one I wanted to show you in this technical tip. As the top and the bottom of structures, the edges of areas is where you can make a lot of profit. It's in the middle areas that you get caught and trapped because you have a lack of patience. So gold, for example, a lot of people would have been trying to trade gold around this area here, right? They would have been trying to get involved here, regardless of what system. They'd have been trying to get involved here. They get trapped. Price moves up. It fills the area that we've anticipated, which is there. It's already tagged it and it's already moved to the downside. There's probably some entries on the lower time frames already, right, for those that are already in it. So it's another example as to people just cannot help themselves. And if you were just patient and you followed simple structure, but you knew it like the back of your hand, right? It's easy for me to show you a double top. I mean, it's been around for years. It's about, where is it? Where is the double top? Is it a major double top? Is it a minor double top? What is the overall structure? What's the higher time frame? How are you going to enter? Like, there's lots of variables that go into the fact that it's a double top. But the point I'm making is that if you're constantly getting involved in these random areas and it is there isn't any significance, right? They're not in the significant areas. You'll just keep losing profit, keep giving money back to your broker. Broker will love it, right? You just keep trading loads of trades. They want you to trade at volume. They want you to take 3-4 trades a day or check the trade every hour. Why? Because there's more margin for error, right? If you have to take lots of trades all the time, you're 9 times out of 10 going to be emotionally affected by your day-to-day life, because most traders are just not equipped mentally to be able to deal with the markets, right? So they take their emotion in their day-to-day life and they bring it into trading. No wonder they don't get results, and they ignore the big elephant in the room, which is their psychology, which again, people have been beaten down by the markets for decades, and they still will not address the fact that they need to work on their psychology. This is why we created the Rewired program in the first place, because of the statistics, right? So just understand, guys, that they want you to trade as frequently as possible. And I'm giving you the truth that you don't need to take so many trades to be profitable. You just need to be clear on the areas of value that you get involved with, and stop getting caught up in no man's land that doesn't really serve you, that causes you more anxiety, more stress, and just pulls you further away from your goal. So nice little technical tip and lesson there, and a bit of a forecast so you can understand. It's just simplicity. That's what we look for, simplistic, and we rinse and repeat. And honestly, that is the recipe for success. When people can do that, the difference between our students that go on to be successful and funded traders and are scaling up on their accounts is that they've understood how to do the basics really well. And those that have always searched for things complex and tried to complexify everything end up chasing their tail, and they think they need this complicated algorithm of just simple structure that repeats. And human behavior is the same. It's very predictable. It's very, very repetitive, which is why risk management is really that plays the part. So hopefully you enjoyed that technical tip and lesson, bit of a different spin on it, and gives you something to focus on, and we will execute as and when we get it. And if we don't get it, if it doesn't fill our desired price, what we won't do is we won't chase it. And that is the key difference. Amateurs will chase because they will think, well, I think it's going to do this. I think it's going to hit this Fibonacci. And they obsess over their analysis, when the market can humble you in seconds. It's not a matter of right or wrong. So that is the technical tip, and looking forward to bringing more to you. Right, guys, so as we approach the end of the show, we're going to finish off with a book chapter of the month. And this is actually my own book, so really, really proud of this book and this particular chapter that is going to link to everything that I've spoken about. And considering the 5th year anniversary of Falcon, I thought this would be quite fitting, because everything in this book I've used to manifest this of 5 years, right? So everything that I talk about, everything that I teach and preach, it's all in here. It's in this book. This is how I've lived my life for over 10 years. And this is the blueprint to be able to share with you a really incredible, robust framework for you to be able to accomplish any goal that you set your mind to. And one particular chapter is chapter 4, defining your vision and the future you. You've probably heard me speak about on this channel before things like defining your vision. If you followed me on socials, you hear me talk about this a lot. You have to be crystal clear as to what you want. Now, I spoke about earlier aggressive patience, which is, doing the daily goals, and then of course being patient on the bigger picture. Well, it all comes from this. You can't have aggressive patience and be clear on the big macro picture if you have not defined your vision, right? So if you've not defined what does the future you look like, and I explain it all in here and how to do that, which is getting crystal clear on what the future looks like. So what I mean by that is, let's say you project 2 to 3 years in the future, or even 5. What does it actually look like for you? What does your lifestyle look like? Where are you living? Right? What area are you living in? What's the postcode? What does the house look like? Are you with someone? Do you have a partner? Are you in a relationship? Are you married? Are you single? Do you have a cat? Do you have a dog? What car do you have? What color is the car? What make is the car? The list goes on. And it's that ultra specificity is what is going to get you to achieve those goals. When you have a clearer direction and clearer details on the goal, you give yourself more of a valid reason to achieve it. And that's how the mind works. That's the crazy thing about it. The clearer that you define your vision, the more likelihood you'll actually achieve it in the first place. So 5 years ago, I was crystal clear. I knew exactly what I wanted for Falcon, and I've accomplished it. Every single thing in the journal, all played out and more. Why? Because it wasn't this vague vision as to this is what I want to achieve, oh, this would be nice. You know, traders are walking around now thinking that it'll be nice for them to be funded, or I want to be a 6-figure trader, or I want to have 7 figures. And there's nothing really beyond that. There's no mission, purpose. The universe will not help you achieve your goals if you put everything on a pedestal. What I did is that I knew the aftermath. I knew once this is accomplished, what's next? What's the next step? What does that actually add on to? What does that contribute to? What is the good that you're going to leave back to the world? You know, so you need to start thinking bigger and define that in excruciating detail. What is the future you? For those of you that have my book, chapter 4, what is the future you? And define that vision so clear as if you've already accomplished it, and watch how on a subconscious level you just aggressively move forward day by day, aggressive patience. That is how that happens. One of the main reasons why maybe you're going around in circles, it's not because your system doesn't work, it's because you don't work. You're not clear. You're not clear on the vision, you're not clear on where you want to go, you don't actually have solid goals, you just want to quit your job. And unfortunately, that's not good enough, and that's not going to help you achieve your goals. So this is what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. What you need to hear is that you probably don't have clear enough goals, and then that holds you back. Because on the days when you need to be moving towards that goal, doing the needle moving things, which is the things that actually make the difference, you won't do them because you're not clear. When you're very, very clear on the destination or where you want to go, you will naturally, the vision will pull you. You don't have to put this extra effort in it. Just naturally, you just gravitate towards it. On a subconscious level, you just start moving day by day, and you'll wake up 2 years later going, wow, I've actually got so much closer towards that goal, or I've already accomplished it. So I want you to take that energy and that excruciating detail that your goals need to be. So do me a favor, after this episode, go over your goals and be really brutally honest with yourself. How clear are they? And if they're vague, be honest. Just look at them and go, these are actually pretty vague. And if they're vague, what's the chances you're going to succeed? Stop fantasizing over these vague goals and get crystal clear with excruciating detail. What I've got for the next 5 years is so abundantly clear, to the point that I know exactly what even the money is going to contribute towards, about giving back, donating to people that are in a worse situation so we can help and give back. There is so much level of detail in this. Why? Because it takes time and planning. And it's the small percentage of people that will do it. Remember, it's not normal for people to do that. Heck, it's not normal for people to even write down their goals, let alone plan out this abundance of wealth and legacy and how you want to give back to the world. So just understand, you're already a minority. If you're coming to this channel for the first time and this is the first show that you've watched, make sure you go and check out all the other bits of content that we've got. We're always bringing new content, always giving mindset tips. And like I've said before, the more time and energy you invest into the channel, like, comment, subscribe, you share videos with your friends, make sure that you do that. And if you always want to be in the loop, make sure you do those things, turn the notification bell on. We've got so much in store, guys. So again, thank you for an incredible 5 years, onwards and upwards, and I can only imagine where we're going to be in the next 5. So I hope you took lots of value from this show and all the technical tips, the mindset tips, all of these practical things that has helped assisted me and thousands of other traders to succeed at the highest level. Let's keep it moving forward. We've got some big goals to accomplish. Onwards and upwards, guys.